Hey man, I wish immeasurable peace, immeasurable love, and immeasurable light to all viewers and subscribers, our nature family. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna call y'all family because that's what we are. You know what I'm saying? We all are one. It don't even matter what color you are. If your soul come from the Creator, then you are one with me, and we are family. Man, I love this knife. Matter of fact, to tell the story about it, man, I only had this knife for a few days, but when I first got this knife, man, I felt like it was just the most perfect, the absolutely is perfect, most perfect knife. Like from the weight of it, from the feel, the design of it. I love tanto blades. I love Korean style tanto blades. I really do, bro. That's probably the most beautifulest knife on the planet, if I had to say so myself. And man, when I got this knife, I was just so excited. You know what I'm saying? My one of my I'm gonna call him my teacher because I learned me a lot, mainly everything about what I know about knives and good throwing knives and how to throw a knife. But person named Daniel Irvin, his name is 411 Outdoors. But anyways, man, I'm gonna get right into it. Anyways, with that being said, man, I'm doing this knife review on this beautiful tanto blade. And I just wanted to say for all viewers' discretion, I have nothing personal against this knife. In fact, I've already explained the background of how I felt when I first bought this knife. This knife is still beautiful. I just wouldn't be buying another one, like ever again. Like, and I'm gonna explain why. But I love cold steel, and I love the design of this knife. And by any means, if you feel like you don't, want this knife to be a throwing knife, which I thought it was a good throwing knife, that's why I got it. But if you don't, if you don't intend on making this knife a throwing knife and you just want it for everyday carry or outside purposes, man, this knife is perfect for you. This knife might just be perfect for you. But for me, not quite. And I'm gonna tell you why. Okay, so when I got this knife, I was so excited, man. I was so excited. It's so beautiful. The steel on it seems to be so strong. It seems to be like, especially how they promote this knife. Again, I'm not dissing cold steel. I'm not dissing cold steel. I'm not even dissing the Recon Tanto. I'm not dissing this knife. This knife is it's a beautiful knife, and I believe it's a good working knife for certain activities. Not all activities, like how they promote this knife, how they advertise this knife as it's good for all activities, and that's not true. Which is the only reason I'm making this video, so that people don't end up making the same mistake that I made when I purchased this knife. When I purchased this knife, it was only intended for me. I was only intending on throwing this knife. And it just so happens I had this knife on the first day. The first day I had this knife. Alright, so I got this knife. And as you can see, I got a tree over there that I use, as you can tell, occasionally, very normally for knife throwing, instinctive knife throwing, no spins, half spins, full spins. And I've been practicing on, becoming an instinctive knife throwing champion, just like one of my, I don't want to say not my idol, but somebody that I really look up to in this instinctive knife throwing game, which is his name is Adam, and he's a world champion. In fact, I've talked to him personally. He gave me a lot of good advice, and in fact, he taught me how to no spin, how to use the traditional style pointer finger grip, no spin. That's how I started off. Anyways, to get back on track, the first day I had this knife, I took it, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna be completely honest. When I got this knife, I was just now beginning my knife throwing journey, my learning process. I was just now learning how to throw knives in general, like so this was like literally like maybe the first, maybe the second, no, maybe like the second or third day that I've been, practicing. So far I've been practicing for like maybe a few weeks, or a week or two. I know it might sound like, nothing, but to be honest, I've grown and improved so much. You wouldn't even believe it if I make a video on how much I've improved. But I threw this knife literally 4 times. I swear, no more than 4 times. I threw it once, I missed. I got it, I threw it again, I missed. It kept hitting the butt of this knife. I guess I kept overspinning. I was trying to no spin, and I couldn't stop, you know, slow down the spin. I didn't know how to slow down the spin at first. Or I didn't know how to let it slide out of my hands a little bit. And I wasn't throwing it too hard. I wasn't, first off, I might be no more than 110 pounds, 115 pounds. So I can't even throw this knife as hard as you would think I, you know, threw this knife for this to happen to this knife. But I threw it 4 times. The second time it hit the butt. I got it. I threw it again and hit the butt. And the 4th time I threw it, this happened. Just like this. And I was so devastated because this is the very first day I received this knife. And I told you how I felt about it when I first put my hands on it. So you can kind of understand how it devastated me. And literally, even to this day, I'm still a little devastated because my expectations were so high for this knife. And don't get me wrong, if you're a professional knife thrower and you know how to throw this knife and land every time without, or at least not overspin it, at least if you know how to at least hit it or underspin it to where it'll hit the back of this, then you might enjoy this knife. This knife might last you a while. But for me, I overspin this knife 4 times, literally. I only threw this knife 4 times. I'm 115 pounds. No more than 120 pounds, I promise. And this knife, this is what happened to this knife. It's devastated me, and I'm still going to get cold steel knives. I love cold steel. They have great knife quality, but this one is just not for me for what I was looking for. I was just, you know, I was just trying to inform y'all so y'all can know to watch this video before you get this knife. If you're getting this knife to throw, it's not so good.
But I will say this in regards. I know I said I wouldn't buy that knife again, but I will make an exception. If Cold Steel was to make a full tang Recon Tanto, or if anybody was to make a full tang Recon Tanto, because I ain't found one yet, I probably would buy, like, I would pay that knife for that knife twice the price and double the times.
Again, I'm not taking anything away from this knife. I must say it again. I'm not taking anything away from this knife. I love the grip on it. It's very solid grip. It's not slipping out of your hands. I don't care if you have oil on your hands. It's not slipping out of your hands. But it may be good for batoning. If you know what batoning is, I would do a demonstration. But as you see, this knife is unusable anymore after the first day of me buying it. But this knife may be good at batoning. I've seen people do some nice batoning with this knife. This knife can be good for carving. It can be good for outdoor activities. It can even be good for combat in hand use. But I was just trying to inform you guys if you wanted to get this knife and maybe you're a beginner at throwing and you're not so good, or not even just a beginner, but if you're not so confident in your throwing that you can't hit it every single time, in just a few misses, this knife is eligible to break. It's liable to break. But anyways, this is my input, my opinion on the Tanto, on the Cold Steel Recon Tanto blade. And I just advise any buyers, any potential buyers, to watch this video before you buy it, just in case you may be, you know, getting into what I got into when I got this knife, unknowingly. And I'm heading out with this one. I wish nothing but peace, love, and light to all viewers. Immeasurable peace, immeasurable love, and immeasurable light.